Stay tuned next for Murfreesboro Storytellers featuring the Scales family on Black History Month. Welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers. I'm John Hood. We're glad to present to you another monthly program in this series. And for February, our topic is Black History Month. And we are so happy to have as our guest here for Black History Month, Mary Scales, and her daughter, Madelyn Harry Scales. Ladies, thank you very much, and welcome to talk about Murfreesboro and Rutherford County.
Thank you.
Mary, you have been here in Murfreesboro for a number of years. How did you get here from Chicago?
The principal of my school attended Knoxville College, and he got me a scholarship and told my mother where I should be in a small college, and sold my mother the idea of Knoxville. So that's how. And my roommate was from Murfreesboro, my husband's sister.
All right.
And that's how I got to Murfreesboro, because of my roommate came home with her
And
the first season.
You came to visit her in Murfreesboro, and you met Robert T90 Scales.
That's right. That was the beginning.
That was the beginning. And when did you marry?
49.
1949.
I wasn't here, but that's what you said.
Well, the Scales family has been such a wonderful part of this community. H. Preston Scales Sr. started Scales Funeral Home, and I presume it's been on State Street all its life, all of its business life. Is that true?
No, it was downtown
All right.
first, and then they moved from there to where it is on State Street.
And that's where I first knew of it, because I grew up on Manny Avenue. At
Okay.
402 South Manny Avenue, and one of my playmates was a young man by the name of T90 Scales. How did he get that name?
He was a baby, a tiny, tiny baby. And they would say, oh, he's so T90, he's so T90, T90. And it just grew up with him.
So that name has stayed with him all of his life. Is
All
that
of his life.
Probably
And
better
it
known
took
as
me a
T90
long time to say that. I thought, T90? Yeah.
And then we have one of your children here, Madelyn Harry Scales. Madelyn Scales Harris. I'm sorry, I've reversed your name.
That's
there.
okay.
Madelyn, where did you fit in the hierarchy of the children of Robert and Mary?
I'm number 3 of 6.
All right.
And I'm surrounded by all boys.
Surrounded by all boys. And part of this wonderful story is that Mary and Madelyn and Robert T90, all three, have served or are serving on the Murfreesboro City Council. You're in your first term, is that correct?
Yes, sir. First term.
Tell me about your experience as a councilwoman.
It's been great. I've grown a lot. I never thought I would be in this position, because in growing up, when Daddy was first elected in '64, he was the first black since Reconstruction in the South to be elected to a city council position. And I remember bricks going through our yards, our windows, flags burning in the yard. He was called all kind of, when he got ready to go out, phone calls calling him the N word. And, I used to always ask Daddy, why are you doing this? Why do this? Because, in fact, so many times the bricks were going through our window that Jack Winsett's shop, he finally told Daddy, he said, T90, don't call me every week. Every week I'm just going to go by your house and check your windows.
Check the windows
And
anyway.
if they're out, I'm just going to replace them. Because I never could understand why, because we were so frightened every time the bricks would go. And Daddy, I don't know how he got his arms around all 6 of us. But he did, and that was a comfort to me. But so many things that he went through on the council, and I just said, Daddy, why? And he said, this is where God wants me to be. And then he had a heart attack, and I think it was over the city recognizing Martin Luther King's birthday. And he came home and he had a heart attack that night. And then Mama finished out his term and she ran a term. And so I never, growing up subconsciously listening to the different issues and how they were talking about them, I listened and didn't listen, but I learned so much character from that. And serving on the city council, being the only female, it's been a challenge, and I've enjoyed it. I really have. I really have.
Mary, tell us about your experience on the council. Those were some trying times that Madelyn's referring to, But one of the driving forces, one of the people most instrumental in keeping our community together was the Scales family and your husband Robert, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he would go to meetings and quiet the crowd down because they wanted to go, but he said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. It was trying times, but he didn't believe in violence. Mm-hmm. And in other cities, there were a lot of rioting and violence, and he said, no, we're not going to do that. And Murfreesboro listened, and Murfreesboro we didn't have 1 minute's problem with him being on the council or African Americans participating in things because of his attitude. And when there was a group of African Americans together, he would sit and talk to them and say rioting is not the way, mm-hmm. you know. So Murfreesboro opened without one problem, and our surrounding cities were having riots and big problems with integration. And we just didn't know what that was because he sat and talked to the people, and Murfreesboro is a great city.
It certainly is.
I remember that very well. I remember one night, I don't know if you remember that night, Daddy said, come on, go with me, and you were saying, no, don't take her, don't take her. I didn't know where we were going. Sure. And Daddy said, no, I want to take her. And we got in the station wagon. And we went, I think it was on Murfreesboro Road, but anyway, we sat there, and then here a bus came up, and Daddy got out, and he said, come on with me. And he had my hand, and he just put his hand up like that. And he said, can I help you? He said, yeah, we came to start a riot. And Daddy said, not here. So we're not this kind of town, we're peaceful here. He said, so just back the bus up and turn around and go on back. And I think from Nashville, and I got in the car and I just looked at him, and he said, you get nowhere disagreeing and fighting. And I just remember that. And as I grew up, I said, wow, that was powerful. Back then, I didn't know how powerful it was, but I remember that.
You're correct. It's one of the great stories I've always heard over the years, that he literally stopped a group coming into town to cause dissension in our community. Mm-hmm. Robert served 24 years on the council, is that right? 6 terms? Mm-hmm. And he was vice mayor also, as I recall, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
I had the privilege of serving with him on the city school board as well. Mm-hmm. And when budget time came up every year, Robert Scales wanted to know about my people, make sure they were taken care of. Yeah. And he always looked out for his people, if you will, as well as everybody, but particularly that was his forte. Yeah. Tell me about the experiences you had as a council person, as a council member.
Well, Scales sort of set the tone. Mm-hmm. And Murfreesboro is a different town. It's a different town. We were ready to accept integration, mm-hmm. Murfreesboro, with the school system, and he would get in a crowd, and I would be so nervous mm-hmm. because I thought, oh, we're going to riot here and everything, and he would get up and quiet the town, the group, and said, no, this is not the way. This is not the way. And they listened. Mm-hmm. Murfreesboro listened. Mm-hmm. And the surrounding towns were having problems, but Murfreesboro did not have. They really listened to him. Mm-hmm. And I was scared for him, really. But
Mary, you're an educator by profession, as I recall.
Right.
You taught for how many years?
How many years?
30-something.
You taught
all my life, seems like.
You taught in the city school system and then later at MTSU, as I recall.
Right.
Tell us about your experiences as a teacher.
As a what?
As an educator, as a teacher.
Well, I started in an integrated school, mm-hmm. all black, and I was also one of the ones that Mr. Hopgood, who was the superintendent, called and said, Mary, I'm going to send you to, was it Hopgood?
Bellwood.
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 Bellwood,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were at Bradley before that, I believe, were you not?
Yes, Bradley
Right.
was all black.
All black.
That's when it was all black. But integrated, he sent me, he said, I'm going to send you to Bellwood. And I said, gonna do what? Yeah. And I was one of the first to integrate the teachers. But Mr. Hopgood was the key. He believed in equality for all. And he took the teachers and gave us assignment to different schools. He sent some of the black teachers to white to all black school, and said, this is your assignment, and no, either you accept this or you have no job. So that's how he opened, and we had no problem. And there were problems and systems all around us. But Murfreesboro opened with the parents, and I remember my first year in an integrated school, and I walked in the classroom, and it was so full of people. You know, I thought, I just have 30 students, you know, who are these people? And they were sitting in the windowsill and standing all around, and I said, well, I am Mrs. Mary Scales, teacher, 8th grade mathematics teacher, and I will be happy to escort you to other places where you're supposed to be, because I only have 30 students. And they were all around the wall, standing and everything. And then I said, oh, you want to know what I had for breakfast or something? And I just sort of made a joke of it, and I thanked them for being there. I said, that shows that you're interested and we're going to work together. And they really accepted my little talk, and we got together, and we had no problems in Murfreesboro. And Mr. Hopgood said, this is your assignment. Either you take this or you have no job in Murfreesboro City Schools.
Baxter Hopgood, one of the many reasons we have a great school system in the city of Murfreesboro, as far as I'm
Right.
concerned.
Right.
One of the great educators. Your profession is not education. What business have you been in, Madelyn? What work have you had?
State Farm Insurance.
All right.
33 years. I retired to take care of this little lady.
Okay. Now, the family still operates the funeral home, right?
Yes, we changed it over to the 4th generation.
4th generation.
Right.
That's a story within itself
Oh,
right
yes.
there.
It's a blessing that Mama lived to see this. And all of us live to see it. Yeah.
Tell me about the city council, the city of Murfreesboro. What do you see as our future? You have certain aspirations as a council member, things that you'd like to see us do or promote or develop?
Well, we are growing leaps and bounds. I did not realize it until I got on the council. You know, you can see how the traffic and everything that used to be, you can go from the north to the south side, no 5 minutes maybe, but
True.
now we've just grown so much. I think we're growing about 3 to 4% a year. And we are bringing a lot of industries in that's really helping Murfreesboro. Right now, I don't, I want to see the city come together and talk about issues, good and bad issues, just to make this a comfortable town. I think a national poll showed that Murfreesboro is in the top 12 of the most likable places to live, and I think people are really coming because we're growing, and we have an excellent hospital, state-of-the-art, Chamber of Commerce, and so all the amenities that would draw people here is in place. And just if we just come together as a people and just make things happen, which I think we're doing gradually. But when I came on the council, I came on gung-ho and ready to do this and do that, and Mama said, you're going out and you're going by the yard, but you got to go inch by inch to make a difference. So I'm learning that. I'm just so excited to make Murfreesboro a great city. But I'm learning a lot about government that I did not know and living here all my life. But you know, I get to delve into the problems and the situations and do a lot of research, and that's what I really enjoy, the research.
Good, that's real good. That
And
way
I make-
better informed you are, the better the vote you can cast in.
Right,
Yeah.
and Dad used to always tell Mom, he said, Mary, when she went on and took his place, he said, Mary, make decisions on merely the facts. Keep your emotions out of it. And, you know, that
Great
was just a
advice.
saying to me, but as I'm on the council, you know, I'm learning to do that.
Mary, if you recall back on your experience on the council, would you say any one decision was the most difficult decision, the most difficult vote you had to make?
Which decision?
Yes, yes, uh-huh.
Well, when I went on the council, Murfreesboro was a different town. We were gradually changing with integration and those
True.
kinds of things. I'm trying to think back what might have been an issue that was so pressing. I think maybe the school system,
Okay,
the integration of the school system.
probably so.
Was a biggie for Murfreesboro because surrounding towns were having problems with integration. But Murfreesboro, we had a great superintendent, Mr. Hopgood. He had all the teachers together, gave us our assignments, sent some of the blacks to previously white schools, some of the white teachers to previously black schools. This is your assignment, and no one could change. Either you accept this or you do not have a job with Murfreesboro
Very
City. He was a great superintendent, but Murfreesboro opened schools integration with no problem. And my friends in different towns were calling, how do y'all do that? You know, because they were having problems. But we had no problems in Murfreesboro.
As an alumna of Knoxville College, do you still have any relationship with the institution?
I do. I really like that it is a school for young people who've never been away from home, and it has that homely attitude about it to help our young people who haven't been away from home. I think that's a good place. I don't know that they need to stay there 4 years, but I think that's a good beginning for them to leave home. I think that's what Knoxville College is about.
And then you have a graduate degree from MTSU?
Yes.
And then
I
you
have
also
two.
on the faculty or staff at MTSU
Right.
prior to your retirement, as I
Yes.
recall.
I do. I have 2 degrees from MTSU.
Okay. Madelyn, tell me about the rest of the family. You said you're one of 6 children.
Right.
Tell me about the rest of the family.
There's
Those
Robert
boys are giving you
Jr..
Such a hard time.
Robert
Not
Jr.,
really.
he's the oldest.
Well, they don't know him by that.
Bob Scales.
Bob, right.
He's the oldest. Then Melvin.
Okay.
Then me, Preston, Joan, and Sandra. 3 girls and 3 boys, and 3 are living now.
Okay.
2 boys are deceased and 1 girl.
Okay. And are they all in this general area? Those are still living? The
We
other
all
2?
are home.
You all 3 are here. You have any particular plans or program that you'd like to see the council do, or anything you'd like to push forward on? That's fine if you...
Not particular right now. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to go another term. I
I
think
see.
that's the main thing on my
Okay.
mind right now. The night I won, she said 2 terms. And I said, no. I said, I'll wait and see. But she's putting a lot of pressure on me. And she said, even if I'm not here, I want you to go another term. I said, if you're not here, probably, no, I'm definitely not going. She said, oh, yeah, you'll go another term. But I'm trying to decide. I'd like to see us uniquely get more involved in the community and the council, and I think the Citizen Academy that we're doing now is an excellent way to get involved and see what's going on. Just bringing people closer together. How, I don't know, I'm praying about that. That's one thing I want to see us do. We have an excellent council. They are very nice to me, very nice to me, very respectful.
And you're midterm right now, right? Midterm, first term?
I come off the council April of 2014.
Okay.
So I'm
all right.
going into my last year.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
all right.
Right.
Well, good. The budget being one of the more difficult
yeah.
problems to deal with, I'm sure.
Right.
Because with our growth of our city, our budget continues to expand.
Right. And sometimes it's funny, Mom and I think I found out I'm taking the same seat she sat on the council.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. And I found that out, and we laugh because sometimes when issues come up, she's really my right hand. She's my advisor.
That's good.
We'll talk about issues. Now, we don't always agree. Now, I had to tell you that we don't agree on all issues, but we come to a meeting of the minds.
Okay.
And I'll come home sometimes, and we would have talked about something, and I walk in the door, and I'm like, what happened? and Mama said, oh, her famous words to me, oh, Murfreesboro has changed a lot since I was on there. Duh. You know?
That's for sure.
Yeah, but she's my advisor. I respect that. She teaches me a lot. She teaches me a whole lot.
Do you think the council should run by district or at large like it is now?
I personally would like to see the hybrid system here in Murfreesboro. That's part district and part at large. Because I think there are disadvantages and advantages to both, but I think if we go all districts, I don't want to see a lot of tax dollars going in one district or two districts and not spread evenly. And I want people to feel free like they do now to call me, whether it's on the north side of the town or west side.
Sure.
I want to stay connected with all of Murfreesboro, and I think sometimes with a district you can fight for or try to help change one area that may not be as advantageous as it is to help another area. So if you have the hybrid, I would like to see that, and if I run again and that is in place, I think I'll always run at large because I want to represent all the people, not just a segment of people.
We've had a lot of changes, as Mary has suggested. How about the changes that have been made to Manny Avenue, Mary? Ron Washington, I think, has been instrumental, along with the other members of the council, in getting that done. But the physical change has been made.
Yes, it's a beautiful avenue. The bus comes in that way, and I think that's a good eye-opener for Murfreesboro. Manny Avenue is, I like to see the changes, because I know when I came to this town, that was the entrance to Murfreesboro. Greyhound bus.
A lot of people don't realize that. We used to be Highway 41 running right through Murfreesboro to Chattanooga and Chicago.
The Greyhound bus and all came, that's how we got to Murfreesboro. Yeah, that was the avenue.
And so that's changed quite a bit with the interstate, of course, taking a lot of that through traffic out of the local community.
Yeah, but so before the interstate, that was the interstate.
Wow.
Right through the heart of town.
Yes.
What other changes have you seen to happen in the community other than the integration? I guess the business area of the community, the commercial part of the community, quite different from what it was when you came out of Knoxville College here?
Yes, it's the commercial. It's not just downtown like it used to be. We have shopping districts all around Murfreesboro. And I still like the downtown area for Murfreesboro. I guess because that's the age. But Murfreesboro it's a wide area now. It's not just, but Mann Avenue used to be Murfreesboro.
One of the great developments in my lifetime and yours has been the building of Broad Street and the elimination of the Bottoms area, which was a blighted area for the city of Murfreesboro.
Right.
That was a great improvement.
Great improvement.
Madelyn wouldn't know that in the old days, folks used to go to town on Saturday night, park on the square, and do a lot of visiting and see everybody. That was the business center of town.
Oh, yeah.
It certainly has changed with all the shopping centers and the other commercial areas that have been added.
Downtown.
Well, if you had one wish.
Avenue, not Mann Avenue, The mink slide, what they used to call?
Main Street to Mink Slide. Well, there's a book written called Main Street to Mink Slide.
Yeah.
But Mink Slide was right down on Vine.
Madelyn, Saturday night,
Oh, yeah.
people would come to town.
That's right, Mink Slide too.
And gather in that area, called it Mink Slide.
And that's where South Maple Street, but intersects with Vine Street now.
Right.
Be the general area. That's where people from out in the county used to bring their pelts, mink and others, and sell them.
Right.
And it got to be known as Mink Slide. As a matter of fact, the Scales family had a business right there on Mink
That's
Slide.
right,
That's
right,
when the funeral home was on the square that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, about 2 years before Dad died, you all gave us for Christmas the book, The Mink Slide. And you all autographed that book and said something personal to all of us in that book.
Wonderful. C.B. Arnett did that book. It's called Main Street to Mink Slide, I believe.
Right.
And it charts and lists all the businesses that were in existence over the years, giving the history of all the owners and the operators of the various businesses.
Right.
Wow.
And quite a historical book. If you had one wish that you'd like to see come true for the city of Murfreesboro,
What would that be?
could I ask you, what either one of you, or both of you?
What would
tell
that
me.
be, Mama?
Going back to Mama for advice now.
Oh, yeah, Mama. She's a pillow.
I wouldn't say one.
Maybe it's not a fair question, but just wondered if there's any one desire, one big thing that you'd like to see happen to make it an even greater place to live.
I'm really excited about the school system.
All right.
We have the gamut from daycare to grad.
All the way to the doctoral program, that's right.
That's right.
And you don't have to leave town, you come
That's
out
right.
with a PhD.
Right. I'm excited about that. I am. That's a great improvement for Murfreesboro, and it puts us on the map, Madelyn.
We appreciate
I
what
would
the
say-
Scales family has meant to this community and continues to mean to the community. Go ahead, Madelyn.
I was just thinking about your question. I would like to see Murfreesboro come together as an entire community. By that I mean incorporate some of our small, well not some, all of our small business into the big picture of our city. And just because we have the avenue and different other things, chains coming in, different stores, and I'd like to see our small business owners be part of the big picture, because if we're talking about Murfreesboro, I want everybody to be included in some way.
And that's one of the things that the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce works diligently at, is representing and bringing together all the local businesses, commercial, retail, wholesale, and manufacturing, and every one of them. Yeah. Well, we appreciate the Scales family, what it's meant to the city of Murfreesboro, and particularly pointing up
Yes, I came to this town, what, 49?
1949. It was a good year.
I'd like to see Scales Elementary go on.
And there's another,
Yeah.
that's named for the Scales family, Mary in particular, as a matter of fact. And I'm sorry we didn't mention that.
Oh, no, but I just, like to see that go on.
And continue on.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you both for joining us for this program of Murfreesboro Storytellers about Black History Month, Mary Scales and Madelyn Scales Harris. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for what you do for Murfreesboro.
Always.
Thank you very nice.
You're very nice voice. I love your voice.
Thank you.
You're the voice of Murfreesboro.
You're kind. Well, thank you very much for joining us. This has been another Murfreesboro Storytellers featuring the Scales family for Black History Month.